Hi everyone, it's Frank Walters here. I want to transport you to Scotland, to the Isle of Skye. I want to thank On the Adventure Trails, beautiful video. And also thank you to David Deamer, who lives up there. It's the Hill of the Red Fox. I think one of the most important things is don't be the slave to what you see, be the master of what you want. It's all about interpretation. David's reference photograph is superb. It's beautiful. But at the end of the day, you don't just want to literally copy it like a photocopy. You want to add your own soul. It's your expression of this particular scene that you're looking at as a photograph or you're looking at en plein air. So let's give this a go. Right, okay, let's go. Colours as well. Very minimal colour palette, isn't it? Right, I'll start off with this sort of, there's a grassy area here, that bit. Yeah, there you go, done that. That's done. It is a bit like that painting. Right, secondly, I want to, there's a central point, which is this bit coming up here. I believe. I'm going to make the sky maybe, because this is very elongated, whereas my paper is square. I can always run a little bit of masking tape and make my painting elongated. That's a judgment call at the time. Let's see where I go with this. I think some of the joyous bits of this are going to be some of the negative for the painting. That top there, that's quite a slivery bit. There's a bit there. It's here. Oh, it's really fun. When you look at this, it's fantastic. So I've just been on this wander here, I've been along there, and I'm there. So I've been on a wander along there and there. That's how I draw. I'm not worried about the sides where I end. Where I know it will be an approximation. It's just the way I draw. I start from the middle, or I start from a side that's really more important than the other side. I've then got from here, craggy coming up here. It comes out a bit. Just drawing some of the things, just to remind myself where. It's going to be an interesting one, this. Then there's this bit, which is quite important. This bit is really. Let me just pull this bit out here. That then comes down. A lot of shadow here. Gets complicated. And the more you look at it, it starts getting really quite complicated. It's really good. That sticks out a bit further than that. So I need to. Good. And then there's in here there's all mount. I'm not going to draw too much here. I'm going to draw with a brush. A lot more sky. I'm going to leave this sky. I quite like the composition, so I'm not going to put a bit of tape. I'm going to have the whole lot. That's the way I like it. Right, that's about it. Making a couple of corrections here. Do you know, I always say, don't, simplify it and just get on with it. And there's me taking quite a long time here. Maybe I'm assuming that some of these things are quite important. I would like it to be, somebody saw that they knew sort of where it was, or at least it represented Skye in some way or another. I'm just going to start with the sky. I need to think about this sky. I'd like a wet in wet sky, I think. It's got some nice clouds going on. Depends what I think will work with this and what will work on. This is the bit that you decide now. You can either be a flat blue without anything, and Greek island is blue, or it can have some clouds. I think it needs a bit of cloud. I think it's Scotland. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wet the paper. Now wetting the paper. I'm only coming down to certain bits. One, two, where it's very dark, it doesn't matter. So, yeah. Just going to tip that. You can see it's really quite wet. Oh, there's a bit missing. It's funny. Sometimes you think you've covered everything, and you look at it, and sometimes it's not. Right, let's get on with this sort of fairly quickly. We talked about this last time. My couple of extra colors, cobalt blue, started using. Some of this I'm going to do a glaze, I think. When it's dry. Nice. There's this other colour that I had. I told you about it last time. It's it's a medium grey. It's not Payne's grey. Don't worry. I haven't succumbed to that yet. I'm glad you're laughing. Payne's grey. But some of you quietly use Payne's grey. I know you do. I know who you are. I know exactly who you are. It's a Joseph Zubvich. Knows Joseph Zubvich? There's the Z, he calls himself. That's, believe it or not, that's it, I think. He says, see, I say one thing and then do another. It's just so, Susan always tells me off about it. You say one thing and do another. Right, that's it. Stop. Stop, Frank. You know it makes sense. Right. Anyway, sorry, just for those who weren't here last week, just very briefly, I've been pulling these extra colours out just for a bit of variety. I'm looking at cobalt blue, phthalo green, azo yellow, bit of a spicy, real tangy yellow. Turner's yellow, which is incredibly buttery, very buttery. There's the Z cool grey. There's Joseph Zubvich cool grey. I quite like it because it's got a bit of interest to it. There's cerulean from Schminker, and it's called Helio cerulean. And again, very acidic. Remember, we used that a couple of years ago. Do you remember? And we all tried it. There's a Madderlight Deep, which is a red, and then quinacridone gold. Quinacridone gold. I know some of you have sneakily been using quinacridone gold. And again, I know who you are out there. Listen, there's nothing wrong with the colours we've already got. You know, there's nothing wrong with what we're using. I just now and again like to just try and just get a little bit of something going. And these are my little choices for the moment. And that might change. I like colours. I think colours are interesting, but strangely enough, it's not the colour that's going to make your painting beautiful. It's your values. Values is king. What's that saying? That, you know, colour gets all the credit, value does all the work. That's what I remember from art school. It's like when you go and look at a John Singer Sargent. I hope everyone's been in London, has been to see John Singer Sargent because his exhibition on fashion was fantastic. It was really fantastic. Um, it was wonderful, in fact. Sorry, I'm just going to do something here. Just close your eyes a minute while I do this. Slightly breaking with protocol here. Just wanted to keep this bit light, just on that top of that ridge. It's sort of light. You think, why worry on something which is, you know, I really need to worry about that. Right, what's the basic color? Is it raw sienna? I think it's raw sienna, but slightly greenish. That's what I think. All right, so let's get some raw sienna. More water, more raw sienna. Yeah, not worry about this because that's so dark there that will just go over anything. And this bit here, I'm gonna make marks on that a little later. And also, I've noticed that the mountains come higher than that ridge, so there's bit of blue glazing to come. I've just done the base glazing. You do the sky. You can't go back to the sky. You do it once, and that's it. You move away. Um, let's have a look at this more. All right, let's just shove in a tiny little bit of olive. Will that sort of work? So I'm doing it over here. I don't want to. Yeah, yeah, that might just. Yeah, yeah. Jumping between olive and want a little bit of. Oh, that's yeah, more yellow here. That's good. just get a little bit of orange. So I can't help myself as I'm coming forward. Bit strong maybe, but just pull out slightly while it's wet. Again, this is my moment for tiny bit of yellow this time. Oh, God, who was that? Really, is that you, Jackie? I know that. I can tell your sneeze a mile away. What are you like? That gave me a shock.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're such a naughty person. It's always one, isn't there? So, imagine if I was doing a bit of really delicate rigger work then. Imagine that.
Sorry.
Yeah, that would have. I bet Picasso didn't have anyone sneezing all over him. I bet that didn't. Bet that never happened. It's a bit sort of light here. It's quite nice. Again, we're giving ourselves a little bit of a chance to get some of that green there. Remember, other layers are coming, so you don't have to get everything absolutely. In some while it's wet. And you only get one sort of chance of doing this. Right, I'm gonna have to stop. See, these two colours are merging in here. And I know this is very bright, that's very dark, but there's going to be a shadow glaze coming there when it's dry. Not now. You know what? This is the really most important thing with watercolour. It's these little bits now, right now. You got to put an all-over coat called the local colour. The local colour we've worked out is this sort of greeny, come whatever it is, raw sienna, greeny raw sienna. That is the local colour. And then as you go above that, blue becomes the local colour, or white with the clouds and everything else. So we've got the only thing that's really missing now are all the really strong values, and they come a little bit later. So I'm going to carry on with that bit of cobalt. I'm starting from the top, and I'm just looking at this lot here. Some hills going on. That's sort of want to retain those. Wrong colour. Yeah, just really light. Again, I've already put that color blue there, and there it is again. And it's showing through, it's showing from behind. Let's just keep going a minute. Remember, brush strokes are really quite important. They're the bits that people see. So when you're fiddling about going dab, 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 people will see dab, dab. You know, they don't want to see dab, dab. They want to see nice linear colors happening and softness and things like that. They want to see that. Gonna get some, I need to get some sepia now. I want to get some warm. I'm looking at these and I'm seeing these as being more warm than cool because I've got quite a lot of cool going on everywhere else. So can't touch any of that because that's still wet. I could have a little bit of a this brush is so nice to do things like this. Yeah. Let me get some French ultramarine going. This is me just thinking ahead now. One thing you don't want to do is like do everything brown. The whole lot suddenly becomes brown. You need to add some of this as well. This is now French ultramarine that's been mixed. So we got a variation now of a cool and warm. Because if you don't, you'll end up getting all brown. You want that. Don't mind that. That's still got to dry, but I could. Still room for shadow on the top of this as well. Could. Is this making sense what I'm doing with that brush? I'm starting on the left because I'm right-handed and I don't want to drag stuff over here. I'm still looking. I'm desperate to get this top bit done. That's quite an interesting sort of shape. I want to get that. What a different painting this is to the Luca thing I've just done, isn't it? I mean, it's like miles apart. It's completely different. You can see where I've sort of left this grass sort of just by a bit of negative work. And again, if you take this one way of painting it, it will find its own way. Still a bit wet there. You can see it's just blurring slightly. I don't like that. Again, there is going to be more shadows going on, so don't think that's it yet. It's funny how certain things are important, certain things aren't important. Some glazing now. Yeah, lovely bit of glazing. It's just really, that colour is just more water than anything else. I think I'm going to keep on with this. So that's still just more time's suddenly flying by now, isn't it? Don't overdo it, Frank. See where you're going. Careful. A dry brush. Some of this is the problem with some of this was still wet. Just gonna get some bit of burnt. Oh, quite exhausted. Too much. But I'll come back to that. It's good old traditional watercolour landscape, isn't it? I think. Just have a look at that. I'm looking at it on the screen. Sometimes it's easier for me to see that. Yeah, I don't mind that. I don't mind it. I just need something. You see here, it's quite dark. I like that light. I want to retain that. But I just need some dark going up. And I almost want to keep the way it is. Right, I've just got my dark green to put on here, there, this bit. I just need some dark. Wow, it's still wet, still amazing. Right, let me do that. See, that dark just helps to define that bit. That's nice. That's nice. I think that's nice. Oh, that's lovely. That was lovely. It's killing all that. So that light on the top, yeah, that light just on there and up there. See how strong that is now because it's got dark next to it. And I'm leaving little slivers of light. Just want to bring some of this green up here. Too much. That is finished, I think. I don't mind that. I think that's a good painting, personally. I would say that, but I don't often say that, to be honest. But I really like this. I'll tell you what I like. I like the reference. I think I just fell in love with that. I just loved it. And I've got it. I think I've got that light bit there. Got this light bit on the top. This sort of, I didn't want to put too much. I left a space for me signature. You got to do little things like that. You have to think, left a space there for the signature. Yeah, I'm really quite pleased with that. I think it's a traditional watercolor landscape painting.